here to teach you a very important topic from pharmacology, anti-tubercular drugs. One of the most important chemotherapy drug, anti-tubercular drugs. So basically, first I will talk here about the individual drug. We know the 5 important primary drugs, HRZES. I will talk about them one by one, and in the end I will talk about the DOTS regimen. So very important lecture. This topic is really very important for university exams also, and also for NEET PG, FMG, INI-CT, MCQs, the hottest topic. So please watch it carefully. So before, without wasting time, I am just starting it. So we know that tuberculosis is a disease. It is a chronic granulomatous infection. It is caused by a bacteria. The name of the bacteria is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So all the drugs which are categorized under the category as anti-tubercular drug, they are supposed to kill the bacteria, either to kill the bacteria, that is cidal, or just stop the cell division of the bacteria, that is static. So when this bacteria enters inside human body, it causes tuberculosis, and we want anti-tubercular drugs. So we want to kill this bacteria or stop the cell division of the bacteria. So there are two types of drugs, cidal. Cidal will kill the bacteria, and static will inhibit the cell division. Do not kill the bacteria, but inhibit the cell division of the bacteria. So that was about it. Now, if before starting the drugs, I would like to tell you about the cell wall of the bacteria. So can you see, here is the bacteria. This is the cytoplasm of the bacteria. This is cytoplasm of the bacteria. This is the bacteria. This is the plasma membrane, and this is the cell wall. You can see this is the cell wall. This is the cell wall of the bacteria. So cell wall of Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria is somewhat different as compared to remaining gram-positive or gram-negative bacteria. What is the difference? Here the cell wall contains two different things. One is mycolic acid. It is a type of lipid. This is present in the cell wall, and second is arabinogalactan. Arabinogalactan is present in the cell wall. These two things are present in the cell wall. So how cell wall of the bacteria is formed? I'm talking about one bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, which causes tuberculosis. So how cell wall is formed? You have to see the mechanism of formation of the cell wall. So when I will teach you the mechanism of action of the drugs, 5 drugs I am going to teach you in this lecture. HRZES, that is isoniazid, rifampicin, pyrazinamide, ethambutol, and streptomycin, the 5 main primary drugs. So many of these drugs, from these 5 drugs, the 3 drugs will inhibit the cell wall formation of the bacteria. So how cell wall is formed? First you have to understand it. So cell wall is made up of 2 basic things. Number 1, mycolic acid, and second is arabinogalactan, as seen in the diagram. So mycolic acid is formed from acetyl-CoA. So 2 enzymes are required here, FAS1 and FAS2. From FAS1 and FAS2, fatty acyl synthetase 1, fatty acyl synthetase 2, acetyl-CoA got converted into mycolic acid. So number 1. And second is arabinoglycan. Arabinogalactan is formed from galactose and arabinose. Galactose and arabinose combine together with the help of another enzyme known as arabinosyl transferase, and arabinogalactan is formed. Both of them combine together to form the cell wall of mycobacteria. Listen, out of these 5 drugs, the 3 drugs, that is H, that is Z, and that is E, they will inhibit the cell wall synthesis by inhibiting various steps. So H inhibit, that is isoniazid. H will inhibit FAS2. Z will inhibit, that is pyrazinamide, inhibit FAS1, and ethambutol, E, will inhibit arabinosyl transferase. So various steps they are inhibiting. Ultimately, all of them are inhibiting bacterial cell wall. So in short, out of the 5, I have told you mechanism of action of 3 drugs in short. So let me start it. So as I have told you, anti-tubercular drugs. The anti-tubercular drugs are divided into 2 categories, first line and second line. First line are the drugs which have high anti-tubercular efficacy. Second line will have low tubercular efficacy. First line will have low toxicity, and these are used routinely. These are 5, HRZES. And second line will have high toxicity, but these are used only as a reserve drugs. The patients in which they cannot tolerate first line, and in which first line are contraindicated, then we use the second line. So what are first line? First line drugs are 5. As I have told you, H, isoniazid is known as H. Rifampicin is known as R. Pyrazinamide is known as Z. Ethambutol is known as E. Streptomycin is known as S. So HRZES, the 5 main category of the drugs. Coming on the second line drugs. So second line drugs divided into 3 categories. Fluoroquinolones, which have all floxacin, Oflox, Levoflox, Moxiflox, and Ciproflox. So these are floxacins. These are injectable drugs. The second category is injectable. These are aminoglycosides and these are injectable. So kanamycin, amikamycin, capreomycin. From the first line, the first four drugs, HRZE, these are oral. These are oral. And the last one, streptomycin, is a type of aminoglycoside only, so it is injectable. We know that all aminoglycosides are injectable. So first category में एक ही aminoglycoside है streptomycin. Second line category में, second line drugs में तीन aminoglycoside है, kanamycin, amikacin and capreomycin. So these are injectable, and there are others also. So read the name of others by yourself. So that is the classification. I will talk about first line drugs. So I request all of you to take a notebook, to take a pen and make this table with me. If you follow my instruction, you will always thank me till your exams when many questions will arise from this table. Please, I request all of you to make this table. If I am saying something, there is a weightage in it. मैं कुछ भी फालतू नहीं बोलूंगी. अगर उसमें कुछ बोल रही हूँ, if I'm asking you to make a table, then there is a reason behind it. Please make this table. So I will compare 5 drugs: isoniazid H, rifampicin R, paracetamide Z, ethambutol E, streptomycin S. And then under what headings I will cover them? In the introduction, I will tell you which of them are cidal, which of them are static, which of them will kill intracellular bacteria, which of them will kill extracellular bacteria, and which is drug of choice for prophylaxis. So I will tell you these points in introduction. I will tell you mechanism of action of each of them. I will tell you the mechanism of resistance of each of them. I will tell important points in pharmacokinetics of each of them and adverse effects of each of them. Please, I am starting with the first drug, isoniazid. I hope you people are with me and ready with your notebook and paper. Please follow it. Yes. So starting with the first drug, isoniazid. So write in introduction. It is a cidal drug. It is a cidal drug. It is a bactericidal. It kills the bacteria. Which bacteria? Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So number one, it is cidal. Now let me draw one diagram for you. So can you see, this is the trachea. These are the two bronchi. These are the lungs. These are the lungs of a patient, and these are the alveoli inside the lung. These are the alveoli inside the lung. This is the bacteria entering. This is Mycobacterium tuberculosis entering inside the patient. So Mycobacterium tuberculosis, after entering inside, enters inside the alveoli also, alveolar cells, and it presents outside the alveolar cells also. So when I take any drug, just suppose I am taking isoniazid. So isoniazid is killing this bacteria. It is cidal, intracellular also and extracellular also. So in the introduction, you have to say which drugs kill intracellular bacteria, which kill extracellular, which kills both. So it is killing both, intra plus extra. Number 2. So it is drug of choice for the treatment of TB. Isoniazid. It is drug of choice for prophylaxis also. Drug of choice for treatment also, drug of choice for prophylaxis. You know the meaning of prophylaxis. Just suppose there is a patient at home. So to prevent other members in the home from tuberculosis, that is the prophylaxis. So drug of choice for treatment, drug of choice for prophylaxis. And it is the drug which makes the patient non-infectious very quickly. So to make the earliest non-infectious, yahi banayegi. So you can see the first drug, isoniazid here. It is cidal. HRZES. So H is cidal, R is cidal, Z is cidal, S is cidal, except ethambutol, all of them are cidal. Cidal means they kill the bacteria. Static means do not kill the bacteria, only stop cell division. So सिर्फ ethambutol static है, बाकी सब cidal है. Out of this, H kills both intra plus extra. Intracellular, extracellular, दोनों bacteria को kill करेगा. Inside the alveoli, outside the alveoli. R also kills both. And E, ethambutol also kills both. लेकिन paracetamide kills only intracellular bacteria. Streptomycin kills only extracellular bacteria. Please learn this table. Many MCQs you will get from this table, and you will always thank me for these tables. Done. Coming on mechanism of action. What is the mechanism of action? In short, if I say this isoniazid inhibits FAST2 enzyme. You know this flowchart now. If FAST2 enzyme is inhibited, mycolic acid cannot be synthesized. If mycolic acid is not synthesized, bacterial cell wall will not be synthesized. If cell wall is not synthesized, bacteria will die. This is how it is acting as cidal. But how it is killing this FAST2, not inhibiting this FAST2. For that, I would like to draw a diagram. This is a bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is the nucleus of the bacteria. This is the DNA of the bacteria. This is my drug. This is isoniazid. So when I take a tablet, I am the patient. This bacteria is present inside me. I am taking this isoniazid in the form of a tablet that is going inside my blood, absorbed, going in the blood. From the blood, it is going to the lung. It is going inside the bacteria. So in the cytoplasm, it is proactive. It is pro-drug. It is inactive. So after going inside the body, it becomes active. This is inactive now. After going inside the bacteria, it will become active. तो ये एक्टिव कैसे होता है? आइसोनियाजिड विल बिकम एक्टिव. For becoming active, there is a gene inside the bacteria. The name of the gene is CatG gene. This CatG gene forms an enzyme known as peroxidase. That enzyme converts inactive drug into active. After becoming active, what will happen? This drug, there is another enzyme in the bacteria known as INHA. It will form an enzyme which is acting as it will form a protein which will act as a transporter for FAST2. So this drug will inhibit after going inside this becoming active, it will inhibit INHA. So INHA will be inhibited. So carrier of FAST2 will not be formed. FAST2 will not act. Myconic acid will not form. Bacterial cell wall will not form. Bacteria will be killed. Have you got it? Have you got it? So two enzymes are involved. So I mean to say it is a prodrug. After going inside with the help of CatG gene, catalase peroxidase enzyme, it will become active. After becoming active, it inhibits INHA gene. So once INHA gene is inhibited, keto-enoyl reductase enzyme will not be formed, which is the carrier of FAST2. So FAST2 will not act, myconic acid will not form, bacterial cell wall will not form, bacteria will die. I tried my best. So that is the mechanism of action. So in resistance, there are two genes because of which mutation in both of them will lead to resistance to the mechanism of action of the drug. So CatG gene यदि mutated हो गया तो drug cannot be activated, और INHA gene यदि mutated हो गया तो it cannot act. Done. So that is the thing. In pharmacokinetics, what are the important points in pharmacokinetics? This drug, isoniazid I am talking about, it shows maximum CSF penetration. It crosses blood-brain barrier and goes in the CSF. So it can be given in meningeal TB, number one. And it is metabolized by acetylation. Number two, it is metabolized by acetylation. So what all drugs metabolized by acetylation? In general pharmacology, I have taught you this topic. So the mnemonic is CHIPS, CHIPPS. C clonazepam, H hydrolazine, I isoniazid, P propionamide, and another P PABA and Depson. So CHIPS is the mnemonic. इसमें I CHIPS का जो I है, that is isoniazid. So isoniazid is one of the drugs showing acetylation. So the two important points among pharmacokinetics on which MCQs usually come, it shows CSF penetration and it is metabolized by acetylation. So that is the thing. Adverse effects. There are two important adverse effects, peripheral neuritis and hepatitis. Peripheral neuritis and hepatitis, these are the two. For peripheral neuritis, the nerves got damaged. Body sensory nerves got damaged. So patient have temporary memory loss and other things also. To prevent it, we give vitamin B6 to the patient. How it causes peripheral neuritis? When the patient is taking a tablet of isoniazid after going in blood inhibits vitamin B6. So because of vitamin B6 deficiency, patient will have peripheral neuritis. So along with isoniazid tablet, always give vitamin B6 for the prophylaxis. For prophylaxis of peripheral neuritis. Vitamin B6 is pyridoxal phosphate. So never give isoniazid alone. Along with isoniazid, always give pyridoxal phosphate tablet to prevent peripheral neuritis. Second is hepatitis, but it is reversible. Once you stop the treatment, hepatitis will be reversed. So it is due to liver injury, hepatitis. So I am done with the first drug. Please see everyone here. I want everyone on the screen. So H, isoniazid. In the introduction, write it is a cidal drug. It kills intracellular as well as extracellular bacteria both in the alveoli, outside the alveoli. It is drug of choice for the treatment. It is a drug of choice for prophylaxis. So that is about intro. Mechanism of action, you know in detail. It inhibits FAST2 enzyme. So inhibits bacteria cell wall synthesis. So kill the bacteria. Resistance is due to two genes, CatG genes and INHA genes. Pharmacokinetics, it goes in the CSF. That's why it can be given in meningeal TB. And it is metabolized by acetylation. Very important MCQ. Adverse effect 2 are important. It shows peripheral neuritis. That's why always given along with vitamin B6. And it causes hepatitis, but it is reversible. Coming on the second drug R. Second drug R, rifampicin. So first is done. Coming on R, rifampicin. Please fill this column with me. Please fill this column. I am requesting you. So rifampicin. Rifampicin is again a bactericidal drug. It is like cidal only. And it kills both again intra and extra like isoniazid only. It is the most potent sterilizing agent. Earliest कौन था? Earliest sterilizing कौन करता था? Isoniazid, but it is not most potent. Most potent कौन करेगा? So it is rifampicin. Two different MCQs. So earliest sterilization करेगा isoniazid. Most potent sterilization करेगा rifampicin. Please write it down. So here you can see isoniazid and rifampicin both are cidal and both of them kill both intra and extra cellular bacteria. So mechanism of action. It doesn't inhibit bacterial cell wall synthesis. So let me draw a diagram for you. So this is the cell Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is the nucleus. This is the DNA. So when I give the drug, this is rifampicin. I take a tablet of rifampicin that is going inside me, absorbed in my blood. From the blood, it is going to the lungs. From the lungs, it is entering inside the bacteria. After going inside the bacteria, there is a gene in the bacteria. The name of the gene is RAPO B gene. So this drug inhibit this RAPO B gene. This RAPO B gene is inhibited by rifampicin. So RAPO B gene करता क्या था? RAPO B gene synthesize an enzyme. The name of the enzyme is, this is an enzyme. The name of the enzyme is DNA dependent RNA polymerase. DNA dependent RNA polymerase. DNA dependent RNA polymerase. This enzyme is required for RNA synthesis. So rifampicin, when I take a tablet of rifampicin, it is going inside, it is inhibiting RAPO B gene. So DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme is not formed. So RNA synthesis will not take place. So the bacteria will die because RNA is absent. So that is the mechanism of action. It has nothing to do with bacterial cell wall. So please tell me the mechanism of action. Rifampicin inhibits RAPO B gene. It inhibits DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. So the enzyme is inhibited. So RNA synthesis will not take place and bacteria will die. Resistance is due to RAPO B gene. Resistance. Pharmacokinetics. Yeah. It is excreted in bile. That's why it shows enterohepatic circulation. आइसोनियाजिड में इंपॉर्टेंट क्या था? इट वाज मेटाबोलाइज्ड बाय एसिटाइलेशन. हियर इंपॉर्टेंट है ये एंट्रोहेपेटिक सर्कुलेशन दिखाता है. दूसरा इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज दैट इट इज एन एंजाइम इंड्यूसर ड्रग. लिस्ट ऑल द एंजाइम इंड्यूसर्स. देयर इज अ निमोनिक फॉर इट अगेन. व्हाट आर एंजाइम इंड्यूसर्स? GPRS सेल्फोन, G ग्रीसोपल्विन, P फेनिटोइन, R रिफॉर्मसिन, S स्मोकिंग, cell carbamazepine, and phone phenobarbital. So here R is rifampicin. So rifampicin is one of the enzyme inducer. That's why we never give rifampicin with the substrate drug. You know the name of the substrate drugs. Otherwise, it will cause toxicity of the substrate drug. Coming on adverse effect. Adverse effect one is common as that of isoniazid. Hepatitis वहाँ भी था, यहाँ भी है. लेकिन here urine will become orange red color. Urine, tears, all secretions, saliva, vaginal secretion, genital secretion, sweat, all the secretions in the body will become red. So always instruct your patient. You are a doctor, na? Instruct your patient. This tablet will cause redness of the secretion. Otherwise, patient कहेंगे हाँ कि मेरे tears red हो गए, urine red, he will get feared. So just instruct your patient beforehand. So these are the adverse effects. These are the other uses of rifampicin. Apart from TB, it is used in leprosy also, meningococcal meningitis also. So these are other uses. So I am done with rifampicin. Please, everyone on the screen, everyone. So like isoniazid, it is cidal only. Both of them are cidal. Like isoniazid, rifampicin also kill intracellular as well as extracellular bacteria. And it is the most potent, isoniazid earliest causes sterilization. But here it is the most common, most potent sterilizing agent, rifampicin. Mechanism of action, rifampicin inhibits DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. Isoniazid was inhibiting FAST2. Mechanism of resistance, you know the name of the genes. Pharmacokinetics, important point here is, it is an inducer. It is an enzyme inducer. Adverse effect, compare the adverse effect of both of them. Both of them causes hepatitis, reversible hepatitis. But here there is no peripheral neuritis. Here urine will become orange and other secretions of the body also become orange red. Coming on the third drug, pyrazinamide. Please fill this table with me. The third drug. First is done, second is done. I am coming on the third one. Hopefully you are enjoying and learning a lot. Done or not? Coming on the third drug, pyrazinamide. Again, it is a cidal but weak cidal. It is also a cidal. It kills only intracellular, no extracellular. It kills only intracellular bacteria, no extra. So again, cidal, it is weak cidal. These were strong cidal, but it is weak cidal. It will kill the bacteria. And the isoniazid and rifampicin were killing both intracellular as well as extracellular bacteria, but pyrazinamide is killing only intracellular bacteria, no extracellular. So mechanism of action, pyrazinamide ka I have already taught you. So let me draw it. So this is the bacteria, this is the DNA, nucleus and DNA of the bacteria. This is my drug pyrazinamide. So when I take a tablet of pyrazinamide, it enters inside the bacteria. After entering inside the bacteria, there is a gene in the bacteria known as PNCA gene. So this pyrazinamide inhibits this gene. So what this gene used to do? This gene used to form a enzyme. The name of the enzyme is FAS1. FAS1. So pyrazinamide once enter inside the body after taking the tablet, it will enter the bacteria, it will inhibit the gene PNCA. So this FAS1 will not form. FAS1 will not form, mycolic acid will not form. Mycolic acid will not form, cell wall will not form. Cell wall will not form, bacteria will die. So that is the mechanism of action. You can see here. So can I say isoniazid was inhibiting FAS2, pyrazinamide is inhibiting FAS1? Yes or no? But the gene is different. Here the gene was CAT-G gene and INHA gene. Two genes were involved. Here PNCA gene is involved. Pianka gene or PNCA gene. So mechanism of action, it goes inside the bacterial cell and it inhibits the gene known as Pianka. So this gene used to form an enzyme that is FAS1. So FAS1 will not be formed because this gene is inhibited. So it will not form, mycolic acid will not form, cell wall it will not form, bacteria will die. So I tried my best. That is the mechanism of action. The resistance is PNCA gene. Pharmacokinetics, again, it go to the CSF and helpful in meningeal TB like isoniazid. And adverse effect, yeah. Again, it is also hepatotoxic. It causes hepatitis. So first three drugs are causing hepatitis, H, R, Z. It is most hepatotoxic among all three. Second, it causes hyperuricemia. That's why causes gout. Hyperuricemia and gout. So see everyone here, let me revise you pyrazinamide. So again, the three drugs are cidal, H, R, Z, but it is weak cidal. The first two, H and R, were killing intracellular as well as extracellular. Pyrazinamide is killing only intracellular. Done. It inhibits the enzyme FAS1. Isoniazid was inhibiting FAS2. Rifampicin was inhibiting DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. It inhibits FAS1. You know the genes of resistance. Important यहाँ पे सिर्फ CSF में जाता है वो है. Adverse effect compare करो. Compare the, please everyone, compare the adverse effect. Adverse effect, all of them causes hepatitis. But isoniazid causes mild hepatitis 1+. Rifampicin causes moderate hepatitis 2+. Pyrazinamide causes severe hepatitis 3+. Please learn it. And one has an adverse effect is specific for the drug. So peripheral neuritis is specific for isoniazid. Orange color urine is specific for rifampicin. Urine, tears, everything. And hyperuricemia or gout is specific for pyrazinamide. Please learn it. Coming on the fourth drug. I hope you are enjoying. That is ethambutol. Coming on the fourth drug, ethambutol. Please. So fourth drug, start filling this table with me. Please everyone. It is static. It is not cidal. It is static. So the first three were cidal. Right here static. It is the only static. ये भी cidal होगा. Only static drug. Only static anti-tubercular primary first line drug. And it is least toxic among all. Least toxic among all. So it is. You can see the first three and last one is cidal. Only this one is static. And first three are hepatotoxic. जिसमें isoniazid 1 positive, rifampicin 2 positive. Pyrazinamide is most hepatotoxic. Last two are not hepatotoxic, but these two will cause hyperuricemia, the third and the fourth one. And it will again kill both. I'm sorry. Okay. It will kill both intra plus extra. So mechanism of action. Who will tell me the mechanism of action? Ethambutol inhibit arabinogalactan enzyme. So let me draw the same diagram. So you know what I will draw. You already know it now. Okay. So this is the bacteria. This is the nucleus. This is the DNA of the bacteria. This is the ethambutol tablet I am taking by mouth. It is entering inside the bacteria. After entering inside the bacteria, it is inhibiting a gene known as EMBB gene. So this drug is inhibiting a gene known as EMB gene. What it used to form? This EMB gene used to form an enzyme known as arabinosyl galactose. So arabinosyl galactose is not formed. It is inhibiting the gene. So this is not formed. So mycolic acid will not form. So cell wall will not form. So bacteria will die. So that is the mechanism of action, you can say. So it inhibits arabinosyl transferase by inhibiting a gene known as EMBA gene. So arabinogalactan and galactose will not combine and arabinogalactan will not form. So mycolic acid nahi, yahan pe arabinogalactan will not form. So cell wall will not form, bacteria will die. Resistance is due to EMBB gene. Done. Pharmacokinetics, it is excreted through kidney. Only one point is important. Adverse effect. The main adverse effect here is optic neuritis, color blindness. Patient will have green vision, color blindness, but it is reversible. And this is the reason why ethambutol is not given in children. It is reversible in initial stages, but children will not tell that color blindness ho raha hai. So optic neuritis. And second important is it increases blood uric acid level, hyperuricemia like pyrazinamide. So see, please everyone on the screen. So see, the first three drugs were cidal, it is weak cidal, and the fourth one is static. Ethambutol is static. The first two were killing both intra plus extracellular. Isoniazid was killing only intracellular. Ethambutol kills both intra plus extra, and streptomycin will kill only extra. Kill. See the name of the enzyme they are inhibiting in mechanism of action. Please see the name of the enzyme. Isoniazid was inhibiting FAST2. Rifampicin was inhibiting DNA-dependent RNA polymerase. Pyrazinamide was inhibiting FAST1, and ethambutol is inhibiting arabinosyl transferase. See the name of the enzyme through which they are inhibiting these enzymes. And you know the pharmacokinetics important point. See adverse effect in each of them. Very important is adverse effect. Many MCQs on adverse effect. So the first three, HRZ causes hepatitis, and the third and fourth causes hyperuricemia. Please see. So hyperuricemia or gout is present in pyrazinamide and ethambutol, and one specific feature in each of them. I will state that specific feature. So peripheral neuritis is a specific feature for isoniazid. Urine red or orange is a specific feature for rifampicin. Hyperuricemia is a specific feature, you can say pyrazinamide, and optic neuritis is a specific feature for ethambutol. So that was all about it.